Welcome everybody, gather round. We're going to review my first game against an opponent rated over 1000 ELO. Sure to be a challenge. I've enlisted the help of my AI friend Belvedere. Are you well?
Less small talk, more game review.
Yeah, very well. Here's the file.
Loading now, sir. I see you had the white pieces and opened with e4.
Then what?
Our opponent responds with e5. You play knight c3, the Vienna. They respond with knight f6, the forkbeard variation. You play f4, the Vienna Gambit. They accepted the gambit, and you correctly pushed to e5. They correctly chose to retreat their knight. You remembered the essential knight f3 to cover the g5 and h4 squares. Our opponent plays knight c6, and now you get a second pawn in the center. Their response is d6.
As I recall, here I would normally win back my pawn with the bishop, but instead I used my other bishop to pin their queenside knight, which they immediately attacked. So I took the knight, and they recapped it with b takes c6. And then I won back my pawn. Was that a mistake, Belly?
Only a slight inaccuracy, sir. It would be better to play bishop takes f4 straight away, but you still have a stronger position at this point. Your opening studies have paid off, sir.
Couldn't have done it without you, dear boy.
An accurate assessment. Our opponent here plays f6, and you play e takes d6. Perhaps it is time to begin your middle game studies, sir.
Why, is that move a mistake?
Yes, and an obviously avoidable one at that. It is rarely a wise idea to open up space in the center while your king is still in it. Castling would have been an excellent choice, or the best move was queen e2, simply developing.
You make a good point. I see now a little patience would have served me well.
Indeed, sir. Our opponent recaptures with their bishop. You trade bishops. Our opponent undoubles their pawns. And now you find queen e2. Our opponent covers with queen e7. Here you castle. Our opponent trades queens. They've done well to equalize the position. Here they play bishop g4. And you bring rook a to e1. Our opponent castles queenside. You play knight f4. And they develop their knight to h6. You play d5. They push past with c5.
Yes, I remember here I noticed I could attack their rook on d8 and the pawn on g7 with knight e6. My opponent moved their rook, so I took the pawn. They took my rook, and I recaptured whilst also getting my knight out of danger.
Well done, sir. You have regained a slight positional advantage here. Our opponent plays rook g8, attacking our knight. And you decide you'd rather our opponent had the slight advantage instead, blundering the knight.
It wasn't out of kindness. He trapped my knight and I panicked. I couldn't think of what to do.
A counter-attack on their knight was the best move here, sir, especially one that wins a free pawn.
Bake me a bagel and braid my beard. It seems so obvious now.
Our opponent takes the free knight, and now you take the free pawn. They respond defending and offering a trade of rooks. You give a check. They move to king b7, and you blunder another piece by giving another check. Perhaps noughts and crosses would be a more suitable pastime for you, sir.
Yes, well, can't really justify that one, can I?
No, sir. You spent 2 seconds on that move, and you were not low on time. Again, sir, patience.
Certainly an area for improvement, yes.
Our opponent captures our blundered rook. You play a3. They respond rook g5. You protect your pawn with c4. They centralize their knight. You attack their pawns with b4. They play knight takes c4. You play knight d3. They take another pawn with knight takes a3. You capture with b takes c5. They recapture. You take back with the knight and give a check. They move the king to b6. And once again, a lack of patience. You are not in a position to push that pawn, sir. Simply moving the knight to the safety of d7, also giving another check, would have been best here, sir.
Yes, there is a rather recurring theme to my efforts here.
They captured our knight. You pushed to d7. Our opponent responds with rook g5.
I believe I started to hope for a stalemate here. I played g4, giving up one pawn, then king g2, giving up another, then h3. They retreated with bishop e6. I played king g3. They responded with h5. And I removed any other move than king moves by playing h4.
You are optimistic, sir. With perfect play, our opponent should deliver checkmate in 7 moves.
Well, nobody's perfect. It took more than 7 moves, but they did get the job done. Let the game play out from there.
Yes, sir.
And thank you for your help, Belvedere. I must be more patient in future games.
Despite losing, sir, you actually performed better than ever in this game, achieving your highest accuracy of 83%. I asked my friend Stockfish to estimate your ELO in this game.
What did they say?
They blew a raspberry, sir.
No.
It's protocol code for 1500, sir.
Well, I can be proud of that at least, eh, Billy?
If you say so, sir.
Indeed I do. And also, I offer a nod of respect to my opponent and our brothers and sisters in Chile. I also thank all at chess.com for being jolly good sports. And now I think I'll pop the kettle on and make a brew, try and remember what I've learned, and then play chess.